ASEAN has expressed solidarity with the elected civilian government of Aung San Suu Kyi in promoting humanitarian assistance to ease tensions and conflict in Rakhine state, rather than issuing a critical statement over Myanmar's handling of the Rohingya crisis. Myanmar's State Councillor and Foreign Minister Aung San Suu Kyi looks on during the 9th ASEAN UN Summit in Manila, Philippines, the 13th of November 2017. The Philippines is hosting the 31st Association of Southeast Asian Nations ASEAN Summit and related meetings from 10 to the 14th of November. While Indonesian President Joko Widodo, leader of the world's largest Muslim country, said he was very concerned about the humanitarian crisis, no harsh criticism was made against Myanmar's de facto civilian leader Suu Kyi in her handling of the Rohingya situation, which has resulted in more than 600,000 refugees fleeing across the border to Bangladesh. Thai Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha yesterday also had a 10-minute corridor meeting with Suu Kyi, but the details of their conversation were not disclosed. Myanmar State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi talks to Thailand's Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha before the APT leaders interface with East Asia Business Council in Manila, Philippines, the 13th of November 2017. The Philippines is hosting the 31st Association of Southeast Asian Nations ASEAN Summit and related meetings from 10 to the 14th of November. Thailand has previously agreed with Myanmar in referring to Rohingya as Bengalis, which suggests that the minority is not an indigenous Myanmar ethnic group. According to a document seen by The Nation, ASEAN countries will continue to emphasize the ASEAN Coordinating Center for Humanitarian Assistance on Disaster Management in providing aid to affected areas in Southeast Asia, including Rakhine State. The Rakhine crisis has been widely discussed by ASEAN leaders during the Philippines summit. Suu Kyi welcomed international aid during the 40th ASEAN Summit yesterday, but she did not elaborate further on the matter, Philippine presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said yesterday during a press briefing in Manila. Roque added that 2 to 3 countries had also touched on the Rakhine state crisis, but he refused to specify which ones. ASEAN Muslim countries, particularly Malaysia and Indonesia, have been vocal in denouncing Rohingya migration as a transnational crisis, while the rest of ASEAN has been uncertain about to what extent it should interfere into the centuries-old ethnic conflict. An ASEAN official source also said the issue was a domestic problem, although it affected Myanmar's land and sea neighbors. During 31st ASEAN Summit plenary yesterday, Widodo said he understood the complexity in Rakhine state but urged countries including ASEAN members to not keep silent. ASEAN leaders attend the opening session of the 20th ASEAN JAPAN Summit in Manila, Philippines, the 13th of November 2017. The Philippines is hosting the 31st ASEAN Summit and related meetings from 10 to the 14th of November. The longer the problem is left will have an impact on the security and stability of the region, including the emergence of radicalism and trafficking in persons, he said, also calling for trust and solidarity among ASEAN countries on solving the issue. Indonesia, he continued, had submitted a 4-1 formula proposal for Rakhine, including supporting the implementation of former UN Secretary-General Kofi Annan's recommendations. Jakarta also expected talks between Bangladesh and Myanmar on repatriation could be resolved and implemented soon, he added. Meanwhile, AFP reported from Washington yesterday that U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson would visit Myanmar to discuss the matter tomorrow. A Rohingya girl carries water from a tube-well at Hakampara refugee camp in the Bangladeshi district of Ukhiya on November 13, 2017. More than 600,000 Rohingya have arrived in Bangladesh since a military crackdown in Myanmar in August triggered an exodus, straining resources in the impoverished country. AFP photo in the face of widespread atrocities against ethnic Rohingya people in Myanmar, the United States has been cautiously stepping up pressure on that country's army, while taking care to avoid endangering the civilian government of Suu Kyi. As the U.S. takes a more active role in the region, several American delegations have passed through in recent weeks. Tillerson plans to meet Suu Kyi as well as Army Chief General Min Aung Hlaing. Tillerson is expected to adopt a firm tone with military leaders, whom he has deemed responsible for the crisis facing Rohingya.